Hello, Marieke Blokland here from bloknote.nl and welcome to this flip-through video. I'm going to make a short version of this video with only music, so if you are not really interested in going in depth but just want to be inspired and see this full journal, you can go to that video. In this video I'm going to make a more lengthy video about this journal. Go! Hey, Marieke Blokland here from bloknote.nl. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In April 2021 and May 2021 I started 2 journals, and this summer, it's the summer of 2022 now, September 2022, I finished both of these journals and I want to share them with you. These are very personal journals, way too personal to really tell you what everything is all about. Many of you know, who have been following me online or took art courses or are following me on YouTube or Instagram, that I have been away from my business and social media for quite a long time, and I know that some of you missed me. Even some people are pretty pissed off with me. But yeah, it took me 2 years to recover from burnout and to learn to understand what being burnt out means, and all that together with depression, midlife crisis and the COVID crisis in our world. Or as my husband says it to me, it was a terrible time to start your midlife crisis. It was. So this page I made at the end of the second lockdown, and I guess it speaks for itself a bit. I don't want to get political here, but I was pretty mad. And yeah, I really felt trapped. I guess this will trigger some people, but I think that in the last 2 years I got less afraid to speak up for myself and tell my opinion. I used to be really afraid to tap into certain themes that were a little bit more political, because I was always afraid that people might get angry at me. And anger is in fact a very big theme in my work now, and it was a big theme in my life in general. One of the things that I discovered through talking to a lot of people, therapy, and the past 2 years is that I have always been really afraid of anger. Angry people really trigger me, and even today, if I get the idea that someone is angry because of something that I did, while I didn't mean it, I get really triggered, get really emotional. Yeah, that is my thing, I guess. I think we all have a certain trauma there, and for me that is really anger. I really learned a lot about trauma and about triggers for people and how burnout works. So I guess for myself I'm a really different person, but I really need to express all of that, all of what happened, all what was in my brain in my journal. So I started to journal and journal and journal. I did a lot of art journaling in the past 2 years actually, to express all of the things that were in my head, and I didn't have any space anymore to to run my business, to do my work, or do any other things than all of the things that were happening and recovering. Yeah, so a lot of the work in my journal is about the dark side in me, I guess. Things that I did that I'm not proud of, people I lost, people in my life due to miscommunication, and really, yeah, the voices in my head that were shouting nasty things. I do use a lot of words from lyrics in my work, so not everything in what you read is personal per se, that it is something that I wrote, but it was a sentence or a couple of sentences in a song that I really loved and I could recognize myself in. An example is "You're addicted to the trouble." That is always a sentence that I love when I hear it. Not necessarily that I think that I'm addicted to trouble, but it's, yeah, something that I guess I can relate to, because, yeah, trouble is maybe also in a wide sense or something. I didn't know I was lost. It's also from a song. I need to express or else I'll go mental is something that I wrote myself. And throughout this year I really expressed my deepest, darkest side, my darkest feelings, my darkest emotions, the darkest things that happened. There's a lot of anger, frustration and sadness in this book. And I managed to stay really productive, and out of all of this also I developed an art method that I call the raw art method, and that is also my first course that I am going to launch once I am finally ready to reopen my online art school, because my burnout didn't have a lot to do with the work itself. I've always loved working. I used to work all the time, and now I know that working all the time is a bad idea. But it was more with my perfectionism and with the fact that I was really afraid to make people angry. That is something that was really hurtful when I was going through a very hard time in the beginning of 2020, but I couldn't get out of that anymore because of the state of the world, my burnout, and I had made some customers angry. But that really was the start of anxiety issues that made me scared of people, made me scared of mail, made me scared of social media. It was a really traumatic experience that I got hate mail, and I feel really sorry for myself today because it costed me 2 years of my life actually to really recover. But of course in the end that's always the best thing that can happen to you, because it made me a different, stronger person, because I had to look at myself, go through all the things that happened in my life, why, how, everything. I think I really, yeah, I can tell you that I just changed big time for myself. And now I look back at all of this work, and it's, even though it's really personal, and I can still really remember when I was making these pages how sad, frustrated and angry, depressed, vulnerable I was. And I'm even also still angry with some people that made it worse, because I guess all I needed was a hug. But I couldn't even hear nice words anymore. So from my customers who really hurt me back then, 2 years ago. I got a lot of sweet meal, but I've never opened the meal. I still need to do that, and it has a bit part of the therapy, I guess, because I really just shut all my doors to everyone and everything. I guess that's just what you do when you really feel unsafe, and I guess now I am much safer, start to trust people again, start to go out, start to feel better and deeper connections with people. I am discovering parts of myself that I didn't even know I had. One of the things I'm really proud of is that I can really easily talk about things that other people find hard to talk about, and that is even going to be part of my business in the future. That has everything to do with self-expression, with being as raw, honest and open as you possibly can inside your art journal, about your deepest, darkest things, your fears, your hopes, your dreams, the things that excite you, discover parts of yourself that you didn't even know you had. But I guess in order to help you with that, to express all those, all the things that make you human, you need an art teacher that is being able to be really open about everything. And I guess that in the future not everyone will like me anymore. I wanted to please everyone. That was one of the mistakes I guess I made in my life. I wanted to be nice for everyone, to please everyone. When someone was a bit angry or frustrated, I would feel awful. And believe me, when you are online, you get awful words, and I didn't have the skin back then, a thick skin to not feel small and sad when someone would be really angry and frustrated. I had things I remember that I was not even being really political, but it was something in the media that made me angry back then. And it was from a European perspective that I said something about the world, and there was an American woman who only could hear from her point of view that I was saying something against conservatives and not being pro-democrats or something. So she made it really about American politics while I was talking from an European political perspective, and she just typed her frustration towards me, and I could only hear how bad I was. This is a couple of years ago. And it made me think, I should really not talk about politics or religion in my classes or work, because then everyone will get angry at me. These days it's different, I guess. Now I learned that I can be really respectful. I can talk respectful about things that I think, about my opinion, without harming others, but still address issues, still have a strong personal opinion, that I am allowed to tell my opinion, and that nobody is entitled to be angry at me for having that opinion. That we can only have nice conversations from adult to adult, but if I am saying something from an adult perspective and someone is shouting at me like a kid or like an aggressive, I don't know who, that's just something I will not accept anymore. And all that made me such a more kinder, easier, gentle, kinder woman in so many ways. But also a more outspoken woman with a very strong opinion. And all that said, something that I really am going to be more open about is feminism and abortion. Those are topics that I will not be closed about any longer. Not because I want to be a pro-abortion person, but I think I don't want to make specific art classes for women, by the way, but I guess that those kind of there's a naked woman. I guess that those type of issues that you have, that those issues are so hard for many people to talk about, and we all have opinions about, and that is an excellent, that art journaling is an excellent way to start exploring those dark topics. What is it you think, you feel about? So if I can tell you, if I can talk about that openly and bravely and help others with that in their art and art journals, to start expressing also hard topics, what you think, what you feel, what you've experienced, what you are going through, what you make yourself angry about. I guess we all do that. And I guess I'm a bit done with being a nice girl and making everything pleasant. I used to do that a lot, being pleasant, pleasing others with happy, colorful stuff, not trigger anything. And yeah, I listened to that to others a lot as well. I woke up, you were a dream until you turned into a nightmare. That's my own text, I guess. This is a really simple page, by the way. I'm talking about myself basically, because all of the techniques in my journal are the same. They are a 10-step process that I call the raw art method, and it's always the same method, and I'm going to make more videos about this because that is the method I'm going to work with in the future. That's funny because this page has a bit of a different approach because the rest has a lot of paint on them, so I didn't really explain what I was doing here. But this is so simple, but actually it has all the same elements as the other pages, except that there is no base layer with the blotches, but still there is text, there is drawing, there are blotches, some doodles, some personal symbols. So yeah, it has all of the same steps. But you see, sometimes a simple page is better than a lot of messy paint, even though I love messy paint. Yeah, so I don't want to be like super heavy in this video. I guess that is, I just want to tell you what has changed, that is the thing that really has changed here. That yeah, I really feel much stronger to address issues that I think are important to talk about, because that is everything that I stand for. I always stood for as well, to be really raw and expressive. And if I can't be raw with things that I talk about and open, then my art classes make no sense. So I think that was a conflict within myself for years, that I actually wanted to speak up, but I was afraid to, because I still was that pleasing little girl all the time. I guess I grew up. I guess that's just in short what happened. I didn't want to live without you. Now I have to. I hate you, but I love you. I think these pages are pretty chaotic. there's a lot of messy blotches and raw words. That is how I like it. Yeah, I really love how you can express using words. I know that words aren't drawing, but they are an important part of my art. Sometimes I use it as a sort of poetry, because then I can't express the actual feeling anymore, because I don't have that skill to actually draw it, or I just think that we have the opportunity to write a word like hurt, and you know the meaning of it, and then it's just so much in your face. It's pretty much like using symbols, the small symbols. I love using words and parts of lyrics as a part of all the self-expression. I could be more illustrative. If I think of Mad World, think of a way to visualize that mad world, but I think that words have the power to really already say it, and for me it's not challenging to think of a visual way to express it, except for all of the things that I do. So kill those demons. Maybe I needed to suffer. Yeah, that is maybe I needed to suffer. I think that everyone who went through a bad time at one point thinks, what did I do to deserve this? But then there is always an end of the suffering and a sort of acceptance. And then you start to see the beauty of everything. And then you know that you are stronger, and that you've learned yet another life lesson. I gave you too much power. I think that is something that everyone can recognize as well, that you give another person too much power over you and you feel really small. But this is one of my favorite pages in my journal. I really love this page, even though it's a bit similar to this one. I think everything is really right. The position of the doll with all the dots and little symbols and the way the text is placed. I really love this page. Revolution! You're a monster. There was so much text on this page that I didn't have a doll on it. On all the other pages there is a doll. But there is so much here. Salvation, new stories. Maybe I wasn't a good friend to you. Maybe I wasn't a good friend to you, but I feel I deserve better. I feel it was all a lie. I thought it meant something to you too. A lot of text here. No dolls, but I really still love this page as an art journal page with all the blotches and the raw expression in it. Really playful way of adding text. For me this feels a bit like poetry. Again, a page without a doll. I really love this type of abstract art, and I challenge myself at the moment to make more of this type of pages where there's no doll, no drawing, but make abstract expressive pages. I find that still pretty hard because I tend to always drop yet another Marieke doll on my pages. Here there are two dolls that are a bit smaller. I really like that too, because on the other pages often the dolls are a bit bigger placed, and here they are a bit smaller with a lot of space, and I really like how that works. Yeah, I think that's, I really like this page too. The interaction between those two dolls. And the last page, Morning. Hidden, you see things others don't. Hidden, you see things others don't. Hidden. Bit cryptical, with a lot of personal symbols. I'm going to tell you a lot more about my raw art method in the future. For now, I just wanted to show you this book and be a bit more personal about my journey while creating all of this art and why it is so raw. And yeah, I really am looking forward to inspire you to be more raw, honest, open and brave in your art as well. Thank you so much for watching this. Ciao! That's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. You rock! Please support me by liking this video and subscribe for more quirky art inspiration and raw self-expression. Ciao!